Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jackie Maria, J. Marie Booklet. So today I am making a video for Jonah. I apologize. I did not see this alert, and I just happened to be going through my email and I saw, because with YouTube, whenever someone comments, you'll get a email, and I just happened to be going through my email and I saw it. I was like, how did I miss this? But I did have a lot going on at that time, so I wasn't really checking my emails. Well, I was checking my other email a lot more. So I apologize. But basically, she asked what are the qualifications, the job requirements for a PCA slash unit secretary. So hospitals are starting to go towards having the PCAs do the work of the secretary. So you have unit secretaries, and then you have like PCA CNAs. And some hospitals are going towards a combination. So they'll have both of them. I made a video a few years ago talking about the rise of the PUC, which is a PCA slash HUC. They call them a PUC, PHUC. And so hospitals are going towards that. And so she wanted to know what are the job requirements for something like that. So basically, it's what it is. It's a PCA. So what you would do as a PCA, as well as what you would do as a secretary. 9 times out of 10, you are on a smaller unit. So like this one, for example, let me go right here. So I got this off Indeed, and I just typed it in. I think this was in Kentucky, and this is a full-time position for the night shift. It was 7P to 7A for the ICU. So ICU is a much smaller unit. You'll see this for a department. So like say like a procedural department. So like let's say you have a department, they do procedures. It may be it's a smaller setting, so it might have a few rooms. So like before a patient goes in and have a procedure done, they might be in this little room, and then they put them on a stretcher and they wheel them into the OR, and then once they're done they wheel them back into that room so they can recover and let the anesthesia wear off, things like that. So you might see a puck there, as well as maybe a PICU, PEDS type unit, because it just depends on the hospital. Because sometimes, like a children's hospital, you may not have that, but if it's like a hospital that doesn't really deal with children, their census is up and down, they may have a puck. So that's what it usually is. So I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can read this. Okay. So basically, a puck is you provide general clerical support for a specific unit, including receptionist duties, transcription and processing of physician orders, and coordination of unit communication with other hospital departments as well as the public. You also provide direct patient care under the supervision of a licensed nursing staff within the scope of practice and according to the established policies and procedures. Contributes to the safe and efficient operations of nursing service. Qualifications: high school diploma or GED, BLS must be attained prior to start of employment. I didn't see anything about a CNA license, but usually, you have that. So that's basically what the job requirements are. So basically, you just have to be licensed as a CNA in your state, and then of course, have your BLS. And 9 times out of 10, you have that. You it depends with the secretary. Some hospitals require it, some don't. For the secretaries, because when I started at the hospital, they didn't require it. I went and got it on my own, and then when I went over to the ICU, I went ahead and just got it on my own, and then they started talking about making it a requirement for the whole hospital. But yeah, the BLS is something. And so basically you're, like I said, you're on a smaller unit and you're doing the job of both. And and we had a few. So like the secretary in the ICU, she's not there anymore, but she was a CNA on our sister floor. And when one of the secretaries, when she went on maternity leave, they trained her, they cross trained her to work as a secretary. So she worked as the secretary for however long the girl was on maternity leave. And so then when she was coming back from maternity leave, they were gonna, have her go back to just being a CNA. And so she was upset about that because she really wanted that position. But then um, the girl that was in ICU with me, she left. She went like somewhere else in the hospital, like, well, within the hospital group. She went to another building doing something. So that position opened up. So that's how she came down to the ICU. So they hired her because they were like, oh, she'll be great because she's a CNA and she knows how to be a secretary, so she can help us because Jackie don't help us. Okay, look, I'm a secretary. Okay, I don't do all the other stuff. Okay, because look, I'm useless when it comes to anything else like patient care. I am useless. I get them some water and ice and turn the TV for them and put the control next to them and raise the arm rail. That's about it. Okay, all the other stuff I ain't doing it. So they was like, she'll be great. She can help us down here. She got down there. She ain't do none of that. She was chilling. And so, like the only thing she really did was she liked to do post mortem care. So when a patient died and she was going to clean their bodies and things like that, she liked doing that. They said, they never had a problem taking her. I assume she took them down to the morgue. I didn't even know where the morgue was until like 4 years into being over there in ICU. And so, but that's what she would do. But she really didn't do too much as far as patient care, and that's the reason why they hired her, because they thought she was gonna do that. But and then our half sister floor, which is like a operational, like they do procedures over there, they had a position come available, and she applied over there. It would have been perfect for her, been perfect hours and everything, but they wouldn't hire her because it's the same director. We all under the same. Because they tried for a few times to get me to learn about over there, and I refused. And that was under the old director. I was like, no, no, I'm not going over there. It's too many, because there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody, like literally, I remember one day something they wanted to know something, and I swear to God, one person came in the door. So the door that I opened for like the visitors, they just used their badge and they came in. And then another person came in the back door by the break room. They came in that door. And then somebody was on the phone calling me, all from over there, asking the same question. I was like, why are y'all over here? Like, why are y'all over here? Like, why? Explain it to me. Why? I'm on the phone with one of y'all. The other one came in through the front door. The other one came in through the back door for the same thing. Okay, it was too many. I was like, oh, it's too many cooks in the kitchen over there. So I would always refuse. I got asked twice to learn how to work over there because I would, represent it. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna stay right here in the ICU, and and I can get up there early because they had to be there at 6. Okay, so like shift started at 6. I'm like, I already don't wake up to 9, so now y'all getting me up because it actually. But anyway, I can't be, I can't. That mean I got to get up when? No, to be here at 6? What? I am not a morning person. So so she wanted to go over there, but they wouldn't hire her because she didn't do nothing. Because she would have been perfect if she wouldn't, But because the hours would have been perfect for her and everything, but they wouldn't hire her because she didn't do nothing. And I mean, she was entertaining. Like she's the type of person that like organize. She will organize the TikTok challenges. Okay, it would be all over the, been all on TikTok. That's her. She would have been she would have organized the nurses doing a TikTok, okay? And she that would have been her. That was her thing. But they didn't want her over there because they saw how she worked in ICU. She didn't really help in ICU as far as being a puck. So, you know, that's I mean, it is what it is. I want to say, like I know in the other ICU, they had a CNA. I think they may have cross trained her because she was trying when I got floated over there. She was trying to do some stuff and like I needed help. I'm like, I got this. Okay, I've been over here enough. I got this. So so she's probably was cross trained, but because she was chilling, she was sitting over there chilling. So I could tell that they had cross trained her to do some things, but not a lot of things. But yeah, no, I got this. He don't need to be over here up on me. And then I want to say Peds was like that too. But the day I floated down there, the CNA, because I think it might have been like two nurses and maybe one CNA down there. Because like I said, they census go up and down because we're not really a children's hospital. If anything, they go. I mean, we have there are hospitals around here that they have better children, services. And then if it's really, really crucial, they go down to Miami. So, so the census is just like, it's like you might have a teenager, you might have an 8-year old, you know what I'm saying? You might have a little baby. The census is up and down, up and it's just all over the place. So you can't really have a full-time secretary down there. So that makes sense. But usually it's a smaller. Now I was looking at this other one on because I was on Indeed. That's where I got this description. Now this makes sense because this was the ICU night shift. ICU is not that big. The other one was like it didn't say it didn't say the unit. It just talked about 23 beds. So I don't know if that's like a new hospital, but you can't have nobody be no CNA and a secretary. Like you crazy as hell. That's why I didn't even put. I copied it. I couldn't believe it because I read everything. Because basically it's this. What this is on your screen. That's basically the job description. But I'm like 23 beds because that's like our sister floor. That's how many rooms up there. You can't have nobody be no CNA and a secretary on no 20. That's too. That's no. That no. I wouldn't do that. But like I said, 9 times out of 10 is it's usually a smaller unit. So I would say less than 10 beds, or a smaller department. It would be it would be something like that. And then and so basically you would just do what you do as a CNA, and then you would do what you see secretaries do. They would have the charts. They would input stuff into the computer. They 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 would do a lot. They would do a lot. But like I said, it's a smaller unit, and 9 times out of 10, you have people. Some patients you wouldn't even you may not even interact with, just because somebody like just you might do little things. You know what I'm saying? Because the nurse is still there. It ain't like the nurse is gone anywhere. The nurse is still there. So there might be things that the nurse does with the patient. So like on the our half sister floor where they did the procedures, what the secretary was doing, the one that was there when I came over there, what she was doing was when the patients came back from the procedure and then after they were discharged, she would go in there and take off the sheets from the stretcher because they was on a stretcher. She would take the sheets off and put it in the dirty thing for housekeeping for when they came over there, and she would do that and wipe it down and strip it. She would wipe it down, strip the stretcher, yeah, strip the stretcher, right? Wipe it down, and she would strip the stretcher, wipe down that area. This is before COVID, okay? And so she would do that and then get the linen ready, maybe put fresh linen on the stretcher. It just depends on, what time it was. the turnover. So she would do that, and then of course she was secretary, and she would, um, when they would come in for the procedure, in that room and this, and she had the paperwork, put the chart together. So that's basically what she did. Yeah, that's basically what she did. And then of course, when they were done, because she left at 2, because they were like from 6 to 2. She left at 2, and so she'll get, make sure, because they'll be starting to wind down by then. They getting people, because they don't did all their procedures, so now they just trying to get the people discharged, if they're gonna be discharged home, or they're gonna transfer to the unit. So like, let's say they might have had, because when I was over there as a patient. I got discharged home, but they kept me a while because they weren't sure if they're gonna discharge me home or keep me overnight. And then sometimes they used to, because I was an outpatient. I came as an outpatient, so they discharged me home. But they were talking about keeping me there. And then sometimes they would do a like a late discharge. So like were they would get send them to our sister floor. But then if they were if and then had the nurse take care of them. But then if they were doing okay, go ahead and discharge. So they had like a pending discharge. If their vitals were this and that, then they could be discharged from there. But got them out of there. So so that's what she did. She would like just strip the whatever, bring them water if they could eat after the procedure, things like that, because you don't eat before procedures. So she would do things like that. Sometimes she would call us and let us know that the patient was coming back, because we sent a lot of our patients there. So a lot of the patients that are on our sister floor would go down there for the procedure, and then they would come back. So it would be the transfer. So that's because we were all under the same director. So those two floors, so basically the ICU and that procedure floor, would have been good for a puck. So that would have been perfect. Um, our sister floor, it was too many. It was too much going on. The unit is big. It's just a big unit, and so it wouldn't have worked. But now the PCA that they trained to be a huck that worked night shift, when she was a huck, she was a huck. And then when she was a PCA, she was a PCA. So she would come in every night in her scrubs. Now, if she was filling in for someone who, so like let's say because they were real flaky up there. So let's say that the night shift, they didn't have a secretary that night. They knew they didn't have a secretary. They would try to get one, and then sometimes they'd be like, you know what, we just gonna have her do it. So she'll be the secretary. So she'll come in the uniform, not in the scrubs, in the uniform. And then, but most nights she came in just in the scrubs, because she didn't know she was gonna be secretary. We couldn't. They we thought we could find somebody, pull somebody from another floor. We couldn't. She came in there in her scrubs, but she's gonna work as a secretary. So it was one of those things. But she didn't work as a CNA. She was supposed to work as a CNA, but she didn't work as a CNA, because it was much more easier. It was much easier to get another CNA than to get another secretary. You understand? So they had her work as a secretary, and then they found a CNA from somewhere else. So, but I'm trying to think anybody else, but them other floors, mm-mm. I mean, if anything, they may cross train you to work like her. If they don't have you do both jobs, they may cross train you that if they don't have a secretary, then that day you work as a secretary, but not so much as both that day, if that makes sense. So we had that a lot. We had that a lot. But like I said, the smaller units are more likely to have a puck, so you're more likely to work on a smaller unit. Ain't nobody gonna have you had no 10 patients, 13 patients, and work as secretary. That's crazy. Don't do that. I'm telling you, don't do that. I don't care what they say. Don't do that. Okay, you'd be mad real quick. Okay, you'll snap real quick because I know I would. But yeah, but a smaller unit, yeah, it makes sense because the census is basically the census, and then and it's just a much smaller unit, so it's much more manageable. But like I said, that's what they thought they were gonna get out of her, and they weren't able to. If a hospital tries to go all the way, um, where you have to be both, that ain't gonna work because these hospitals are too big. It'll work on a smaller unit, but not on a larger unit. So that's that's my my thing. Like I said, don't try to do no 13 patients and be the secretary. That ain't gonna work. But yeah. So I hope I answered your question. If you have any comments, you can put them below. You can also follow me on my blog, J. Marie Book List, where I talk about being a unit secretary. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as well as you can also subscribe to my email list on my website. And I will talk to you later. Bye.